Welcome once again to the 0 hours. I'm doing another vlog today. I did have a successful podcast. Check the podcast out on Spreaker.com, and it's going to be on Spotify and all that crap at some point. But I'm going to start doing podcasts. That was fun. Seemed like I kept it under an hour. A little better with a subject and a podcast, but I've always kind of said in my first videos, vlogs, whatever you call them, not to do one when you're tired or upset. But sometimes to be able to sleep at night, you have to get shit out of your system. I've struggled with this because I was getting tired. I was like, I ain't going to do one. But the more I thought about this shit and the more I watched some videos of YouTube and stuff, I said, I'm going to do it because I'm just kind of over pretending to try to be civil with people that are following these Black Lives Matter Antifa fucktards. So, and I did, my podcast was over sports, and I went on my sports. So if you get on that, check it out. I talked about a lot of sports figures. Well, there was a couple I left out of there because one I didn't know about, and then the other one I just heard little bits and pieces, and I've found out more since then. So, first off, I'm going to go with this guy as a Formula One driver, I believe, F1 driver, Lewis Hamilton is his name. And I can really say to Lewis Hamilton, fuck off, dude. Fuck yourself. Wears a shirt at his little race the other day. Arrest the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor. And in the back of the shirt said, say her name. Shut the fuck up with this stuff, really. I mean, do you even pay attention to the stuff coming out that, you so goddamn on this fucking Breonna Taylor shit. And it's like a nerve for me anyway, but then you got this fucktard saying, say her name, and using it in another, at a race, wearing the shirt and all this bullshit. Have you not seen anything that's came out about this stuff being way different than what people said it was? You don't care. That's the problem I have with BLM and Antifa. They don't give two fucks about any facts. I mean, they just don't care. It's like anything that's against Trump and the whites, and they're just out here now just to cause havoc. I mean, I know plenty of black people that do not think this shit is helping them. I mean, there's a video I watched tonight of a guy who was on the interstate, and he was like, in California, and he's, what are we protesting here? And the guy that was recording it or whatever said, well, we're recording this guy that got shot by the police in L.A., and he said, did he have a gun? And they said, no, well, he might have had a gun, but he didn't have a gun when he was shot. He said, was he running from the police? And they said, well, yeah, he was running from the police. He was. That's when the guy just blew him off. He said, I'm 38 years old. I don't put myself in those situations to be running from the police. I don't put myself in that situation to be doing it, so what the fuck are we protesting for? And I was like smiling from ear to ear and just think this guy's got it right, You don't put yourself in the situation and this shit don't happen. But this Lewis Hamilton, the Breonna Taylor, at a race, I'm like, this fucking idiot. I mean, then we move on to good old Naomi, I think is her first name. Naomi Oksana, tennis player. Number 1 in the world or whatever. Just won another tournament. And I'd seen some shit about her, like she withdrew from a Cincinnati tennis tournament because of race, the race war bullshit, BLM. She wore a Breonna Taylor mask one time. And I seen the latest video where her, I guess it was her boyfriend, I don't know, he was on the side. The man or a woman, I couldn't really tell. Jumps up when she wins, jumps up and Got the old defund the police shirt on. She's wearing this tennis player wearing Breonna Taylor mask, wearing I Can't Breathe mask or whatever the fuck she's wearing. And then you got this defund the police. What are you people fucking thinking about now? I mean, it's just to the point where it's, and you got to bring it into your sports. I just talked about this shit the other day. It's like, do it on your own time. Why do you got to do it? You think, well, it's the best stage, the big stage. Keep it out. I can't do it at my job. Why should you do it at your job? You should be on the same level with everybody you're preaching to that can't go in and go to work and throw a fucking fit and say, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. I used to be somewhat on board with the cause, okay? I did, because I don't want to see anybody get killed unjustly. If they're getting pinpointed out by the cops, which I've found no evidence of that. You've got some dumb shit cops that did some dumb shit thing, but we look at the basis of what they're talking about. Everybody's doing something wrong at the fucking time. That's the agenda. But they say, well, Breonna Taylor was asleep in her bed. The fucking guy she was living with or staying with shot at the police. End of fucking story. She wasn't in a good spot. She wasn't Little Miss Innocent. And I mean, I didn't know. I didn't really say nothing about it. I just got tired of Breonna Taylor. But then they started coming out with the name. All this reports and the names of these guys. And how they'd been in trouble. And she'd been in with this, I don't call it a cartel. One guy calls it a cartel, that she was in this drug thing. All these trap houses and all this bullshit. She wasn't Little Miss Innocent. Did she deserve to die when in her bed? No. I'll go that far. I'm not even going to say that, hey, she gets what she gets, I'm just saying she was not just laying in her bed eating her, saying her prayers and eating her vitamins at night, and they stormed through her house and shoot her dead for no reason. That didn't happen. Every major report's even happening, but it's beyond that. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. And it's just like all these people are just riding the BLM thing. Just riding it out. They don't even care that it doesn't benefit the majority of who they're supposedly protesting for. I had those two things. And then I had the Compton. 2 cops get ambushed, get shot in Compton. I mean, we've had that before. There was police in Dallas or Houston got shot like that, and it happens. I mean, crazy fucking people out there that got some kind of bullshit agenda against the cops. Well, these 2 guys, or 2 officers, they got shot. They got ambushed. And I read the story, and the 6-year-old kid was praying that his mom would be all right, or she's gonna make it. She didn't make it, according to reports I just saw today. But I watched this buffoon. I don't know what the fuck his name was. He kept calling himself a prince something of this goddamn black fucking against cop thing. I don't even know what he was babbling on, and he'd say it fast. I don't know what the hell he was saying. But he was one of these jackasses that showed up at the hospital there. First BLM's trying to block the fucking entrances and exits to this hospital. Then you got this fucking tard that shows up wearing his little fucking hat. I don't know, this little fucking hat. With all the different color, African colors or whatever, and the fucking dashiki or whatever the fuck he's wearing. But he's on there saying, I'm screaming at the cops are trying to keep him back. He starts calling them pigs, saying that there was 2 gang members. These 2 gang members got rightfully shot tonight. And we're out here celebrating that. Celebrating 2 cops getting ambushed. Well, number one, the ambush means you're a fucking coward. You can't even, you kill somebody, walk up, probably had a kid do it. It looked like a fucking kid that did it. Probably gave this kid the fucking gun to do it and told him to go do it. whoever called for the fucking hit or whatever. But this fucking asshole's out blabbing about the cops being pigs, and they're trying to keep him from going in there. He's like, I can't go in and visit people. And they said, no, not unless we know why you're here, who you're here to see, and all this shit. And he keeps rambling on and starts yelling out, we hope you fucking die. We hope you fucking die. You know, you two gang members got taken off the street justifiably. What a fucking ass. That's what's wrong right there. You know, it's not even about equality anymore to you fuckers. It's about you think you can take over now. And the pushback, I can't believe, you know, I'm not a gun toter, man. I just don't get into guns and never had a need to have a gun in my life that I thought, anyway. But I can't believe there's not more pushback on this. At this point, I'm thinking the Patriots got to be getting itchy. I mean, you've seen a little bit of uprising in Portland. You've seen a little bit here and there. If I lived in Compton and I was anti-BLM or anti-whatever, and then these two cops got shot, I'd be fucking pushing back. You know, then I was just fired up about that fucking guy. And it was really eating at me. I was like, you know, you can't negotiate with terrorists. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. BLM is fucking a terrorist group. Just like Antifa and the rest of them. It's like, you can't see that people call them quit calling them protesters. They're not. They're rioters. They're terrorists. They're just running amok now. It's not even about an agenda. It's not even about a cause. It's about, let's see how far we can push and get our fucking way, blah, blah, blah. That's horse shit. And then I seen about the shooting in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So this crazy motherfucker has like a sword. I don't know if they call it a baton. I don't know. They have some kind of weird name for fucking big ass knife sword. He jumps over a guardrail and chasing a cop with this fucking thing. The cop's, you know, pushing that fucking body cam button. You can see he's thinking that body cam to go because he knows this is going to end badly. He knows it's going to end fucking badly. And he's running from the guy. He's not saying, you know, they tried to get him subdued earlier. He's jumping this fucking guardrail and comes crazy-eyed looking at this fucking police officer who's running from him, but he's got a goddamn sword coming at him. And he gets shot in the fucking chest a bunch of times. Way to go, Lancaster PD. But what are they doing in Lancaster PD or Pennsylvania? Fucking riots. Stomping on police cars, setting shit on fire. Typical terrorist, Black Lives Matter, Antifa bullshit. Once again, here we go. Because it was a crazy fucking meth head who already had a past history. Last year, stabbed 4 people, got into a confrontation with the police. I'm really wondering, how the fuck is he even out on the street? He stabbed 4 people. How the fuck is he not in jail already? You know, it's like, how much more of this madness can we fucking take here? I mean, I'm done negotiating with people. I'm done. I'm done negotiating. I try to have the civil debates, and, you know, and keep an open mind about shit. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, the Klan used to do the same dumb shit, and they were considered a terrorist group. You know, you run a fucking plane into the Twin Towers, you're considered a terrorist. Well, what do you think you're doing by burning shit down? You know, they're saying, the Antifa's now saying that they claiming some of the wildfires on the West Coast. It's like, okay, you're burning shit to the ground. You're destroying property. There's people getting killed, getting hurt, getting killed in these riots and shit. They're kind of just swept under. It's like, it doesn't matter. Collateral, you know, they call them collateral damage, and I get berated for calling Breonna Taylor collateral damage. Her boyfriend shot the cops. Sorry. It's coming out more and more, And, you know, of course they get accused of doctoring the story or whatever. And nobody's really, the guy on the Netflix show, of course he's not going to say, well, I was just, you know, fucking shooting at them pigs, man. She got caught in the way. He ain't going to say that. I mean, is this shit really legit? I mean, is this like a bad dream, fucking weird movie or something we're all stuck in? Because I don't get this shit. And they'll say, well, you know, and I hear the same stories. We wouldn't get it. You're a white man, blah, blah, blah. You're white privilege. I ain't got no fucking white privilege. I mean, there's more affirmative action and all that horse shit. And what it cracks me up is they get on this about, well, there's only 10. Somebody said there was like only 10 starting quarterbacks in the NFL that are black. That's a third, you know? That's a third. And you're not a ninth of the population? And you're pissed because you're only getting a third of the quarterbacks, or you don't have enough black owners, or you don't have enough this and that. And then they get on if somebody says all lives matter, you freak the fuck out. You know, you freak out. You say, well, no, all lives can't matter till Black Lives Matter. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I mean, I'm an all lives matter guy, because it's like, I don't really give a shit what color you are. Never have, never fucking will. But if I got 8 people, okay, we're going to go by the population of the United States. There's 8 people in a room. 5 are white. 5 are guys, just white guys. There's a black, there's a Hispanic, and there's an Asian. Let's just call it as close as I can get. 8 people. So you're telling me the 1 out of the 8 is just, you know, more important than the other 7. That's what you're saying now. You're going above and beyond, saying, well, you know, Black Lives Matter got to be first. Black lives got to be first. Why would Black lives have to be first? And I'm not saying this to be slighting anybody or anything. But you're 13% of the fucking population. You're 13%. Whites are 70%. Don't you think whites are going to get more opportunities per se? Not really, but just because of sheer volume. It's not because we're white. It's because there's a lot more of us than there is the blacks or the Asians or the fucking Mexicans. It's just, when you get shot by the police, you don't report to fucking all the white people that get shot by the police. I mean, even in last year, unarmed men shot by the police. 9 blacks, 19 whites. Over half, or over double. Yeah, it's not proportionate, I get that. But let me ask you this. Let me go on my little tirade here. You're a thug, murderer, rapist. Okay? If you're a black man in prison for being robbery, for murder, or for rape, and that's what you're in there for. Are you in there because you're a black man? No, you're not in jail because you're a black man. You're in there because you're a thug, you're a murderer, or you're a rapist. Just like all the white men that would go there if they get thugs, murderers, rapists. And then you go to the court system. And they say, well, they're predominantly harsher on blacks than they are whites. Why? Well, I mean, I've seen some of that shit. That I understand could be a legit question. It does seem to me, being as honest as I always am, I'm not fucking zero guilt about it. It does seem improportionate sometimes. I'm not gonna lie and say, hey, I'm saying you guys just get what you deserve, but anybody that puts themselves in that situation, knowing that it's unproportionate, why would you do that? I mean, if I was thinking, hey, there's more of a chance for me to go to jail than the woman next to her. If I'm saying a feminist using their women privilege. If I go up and shoot somebody in self-defense or something, and I get 20 years. Now, if a woman does it to a battered, her spouse is battered, and she shoots him in self-defense, there's always going to be more, just to me anyway, there's always going to be more that the woman was getting battered. Well, if I was getting beat up by my wife and I shot her in self-defense, I'm going to get the fucking shaft. And she's going to get a lighter sentence. That's just how it is. I mean, that's just people in the jury, that's how they think. And when a black man or a black woman gets a harsher sentence than a white, does it make it right? No. But it's not even like, I'm not even going to say it's just how it is. I'm just saying that's how it's predominantly been. But my question, and I'm not saying that's right, and I'm not saying that there's not racism and all this shit. I already know that. I already fucking know that, man. It's like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. What I'm saying is if you keep yourself out of those situations and don't break the fucking law, what do you got to worry about? Now, the argument I hear against that, I hear this argument. Well, I don't want, my kid couldn't walk down the street, or my boyfriend can't walk down the street without fear of being shot or fucked with by the police, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy. If you're not doing anything wrong and and they say, well, Trayvon Martin was just walking down the street. Yeah. He was walking down the street 3 o'clock in the morning. That's suspicious to me. I don't care where I'm at, what color. In a gated community, what the fuck's this dude doing here? If I'm looking at a white guy, I'm thinking 3 o'clock in the morning, you got to be doing something fucked up, in a gated. So why is it back to race? Why is it always that fucking race card? Just like the white privilege thing. How I want to know where my white privilege is. They say, well, it doesn't matter how low on the rung. Oprah, the mighty Oprah, said that. No matter how high or low you are on the rung, financially in America, as a white man, you still have privilege. That's a fucking crock, man. That is a crock. I've seen plenty of white guys that destitute. They can't stay off the fucking drugs, or they can't stay out of fucking cops' fucking face, and they go to jail, and they put themselves in that situation. They don't have white privilege for them because they're fucking up. Just like a black man in this country. Look at all the millionaires. Not just from sports. I'm saying there's plenty of millionaires, very smart men, that because they don't let the fucking race card get involved. They just said, look at Dr. Ben Carson. Yeah, he's black. He's a neurosurgeon. He's now head of HUD for Trump. And, you had a black president for 8 years. You've had all this high end. They've gotten somewhere because they didn't fuck around and get in trouble. They didn't break the fucking law. And I know I get bashed on, and that's fine. I'm going to get bashed on it for it. But I just don't see it. If you're not a thug, a murderer, or a rapist, chances are you're not going to get fucking hounded by the police. And if you get pulled over for a suspect of anything, if you comply instead of wanting to be a badass and argue and fight with them, yeah, it's annoying to get pulled over. I get it. There's a kid that was on YouTube. He's from around Dayton. I didn't know that, but his name was Joel Patrick, and he talks about that. He's got a fucking truck that's worth more than everything I own. He's worked his ass off to get that truck, doing his tree business, I think is what it said. And he's been pulled over numerous times because, and it's not right. But you know what he does? He follows through, and yeah, I understand it could get her irritating, but I'd rather be a little irritated than be in jail or fucking dead. But it ain't worth all this rioting and stuff, because it's not, this bullshit's not helping anybody. It's not bringing. You think it's bringing more awareness to racism and inequality? No, it's basically taking the stereotypes that have been handed through you, all the stereotypes that have been about the thugs and the thug nation, whatever. You're just making it seem more legit. I mean, you're just making it. You're amplifying the son of a bitch times 10. I can see being pissed off. I really can. But God bless, man. How long do we have to drag this into the ground? And it's not benefiting nobody. And that's the thing. If it was benefiting Black lives, if it was benefiting people, it'd be a lot easier to take. But all this is at this point is a terrorist organization trying to get whatever they can get out of everything. And it's like this dude at the hospital was just pissing me off. I mean, I don't wish anybody to die. I don't look at a black, unless they're a pedophile or they kill somebody in cold blood, or a rapist. If they sold a little weed and go, why would I wish them on death, But to take police officers who have to put up with bullshit every day, and they're doing the best they can, you see it on all these videos. There's some fucked up cops, but I gotta be in the 90 percentile at least, are good, decent, working men and women. And they're out there trying to protect people that don't really deserve protecting. Like some of you, they fucking yell defund the police, and then when shit goes south, they're saying, "Where's the cops at? Where's the cops at?" Why would the cops come in a fucking hurry to save you? But you know what? That's the sad thing, is they still do. They got white people, black policemen. Watch the video of it 2 days ago, maybe. A black policeman standing, I think it was Portland. I'm pretty sure it was Portland. He's standing there and getting his ass berated by probably a 22-year-old white girl in his face, telling him how Black Lives Matter. And he's got to be thinking, bitch, what do you think I am? My Black Lives matters too, right? Is just the left Black Lives Matter? Is it just the Black lives that you choose to matter? So which one is it? Because this guy's out here he's doing his job protecting idiots like you, and you're in his fucking face telling him how he's a worthless piece of shit pig, and he for Black Lives Matter, and this man is black, and he's like, I can't understand that hypocrisy from you. I mean, I wouldn't go screaming in a white guy's face and tell him, keep screaming white lives matter at him. It's like, I know he knows his life matters, and I know they don't like to hear it, but yeah, all lives do matter. All good lives. If you're a fucking pedophile or a rapist, then no, to me your life don't matter. If you're gonna try to have sex with kids and everything under the sun, I mean, perfect example in our hometown, my hometown. Guy fucked around and found out the other night. I mean, they had suspected this guy of doing some stupid shit with a little girl. They set up a camera. He did the stupid shit with the little girl. Dad saw it. Dad beat this fucking dude with a fucking hammer. And there better be 0 charges against Dad. By God, there better be nothing against Dad. Except a letter of commendation and key to the fucking city. Because the guy's lucky to be alive. If it would have been my kid and I would have had access to him with a hammer, I mean, I'd pretty much seal my fate, I guess. And I'm sure he wouldn't have gave a fuck. I mean, it would suck he had to leave his kids there, but you do that to a child, You deserve everything you get. Claw hammer, bullet to the fucking head, slit from ear to ear. You deserve all that shit. So, I mean, that's even happened. I mean, the child pedophilia here, it's in small town in USA. It's been here, but now people are saying, it's not getting taken care of fast enough. This motherfucker touches my kid, we're gonna have a problem. And he had a problem. Dude fucked around and found out in big time fashion. Kudos to that guy. Kudos to the hammer wielding guy. And if I was a cop, I would have seen him hitting him with a hammer. I would have probably stood back and watched. But I guarantee if that would have been a black kid doing that, and a white guy would have beat him with a hammer, we wouldn't have the same situation. It would be outrage. Oh, racist motherfucker. Now, if you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. Your color don't mean shit. And if you are a black pedophile, you get beat with a hammer. If you're a white pedophile, you get beat with a hammer. How's that for some fucking equality? Let's call it even right there. Now, I know I'm full of shit. I don't understand the plight of the men of color, women of color. I don't understand anything because I got this white privilege from somewhere, and that I'm not shouldn't be allowed to talk like this, and fuck me and my bullshit rhetoric and my supremacist and all this stuff. I get it, but I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want. And it's going to come back to haunt me. I know. Some asshole's going to take offense and maybe come and beat me with a fucking hammer, whatever. I'm okay with having to defend myself when I'm saying what I believe in. And you can say anything you want. These people can say anything they want. And here I am. I'm not going after them with a fucking 30-06 to kill them. But I am here talking that I think everything you're doing is bullshit. Lewis Hamilton. Naomi Oksana. I don't buy it. The Sheiky dude, whatever your name is. Fucking die pig. I mean, fuck you, man. Fuck you. You think, and now you're superior in every way. That the white pigs and there was a black girl on the police force, and you were yelling pig at her too. But you're saying you hope they die because of the pigs. Police brutality. I mean, it's like they were sitting in their car and got shot by some fucking thug that played right into the hands of assholes like me. The stereotypes you build up, you're playing right into them. You're just disregard for anybody and anything. You're not doing this to help anybody anymore. You're doing it to be whatever you fucking think you can control. You're going to try to take over. You want all this. You want that. You're going to take over. You're going to come in and storm through and just run the show. Nah. I don't think so, because there's a lot of fucking hillbillies and laying in wake because they didn't want to be involved. They didn't want to have to do it. They just living in their own little section of life here. I mean, there's some racist motherfuckers too. Don't get me wrong. That would be happy to blow somebody's head off. That's not a white man. There is some of them. Fuck, there's a lot of them. There's also a lot of black men of color, Mexican, whatever, they just don't like white people, and they like to fucking kill us all. They want us wiped off the planet. Kill all the white babies, I've heard that shit too. Kill them all. They should all be extinct, and then we should move into their house, and we should be getting reparations and all this shit for slavery and all that. It's like, I seen a post that was pretty good, I thought. Guy had posted about it being 19 years since 9/11. So it was 19 years ago, and still can't get it out of their head. And a girl, female of color, anyway, got on there and said, it's been 19 years already. Just get over it. And the response was, yeah, just get over it, kind of like the whole slavery thing. And that's been a long fucking time, more than 19 years. So, and all these horse shit we're doing. And I can't believe that some of these role models and these people in the media and celebrities and sports figures that are heroes to some kids, they're buying into all this shit. Now, when I seen the replays or whatever of some of the football games, because I did listen to the Bengals game. I said it on my podcast I was going to, and I did. And I seen some of the things in the end zone. One said end racism, I think, and the other one said something about being in it together and equality. I don't have any issue, even with that being on the football. I'm not a big fan of it being on the football field, just because I don't think anything should be on the football field except the names of the teams and the sponsors of the stadium. Because that's, it's kind of like I said, me trying to go to work and say, fat lives matter, let's go, you're discriminating against me, blah, blah, blah. I can't go into work and do all that shit. I can't protest at work. And I don't. And I know I'm going to work. If I want to protest, if I work 9 or 10 hours a day, I got 14 hours a day to protest all I fucking want. I could be on here protesting right now saying, I'm protesting this, I'm protesting terrorism. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm protesting against these fucking idiots that every time somebody gets shot now, we gotta have a riot. This dude in Pennsylvania had a fucking sword. Jumped over a guardrail, a handrail, like a stoop. Was chasing this cop with the fucking mad eyes, you see it in the still photo from his body cam. But he's got a giant, like a fucking sickle up there. And this cop shoots him because, hey, he's wanting to go home at night like everybody else that wants to go home. Well, this guy could have just very easily went into jail, done his time, and been over with. But no, he had to grab a freaking sword and chase a police officer with it. And the fact that the police officer ran away first is all I need. I mean, that was one of the big things for me. It's like he's trying to avoid it, but this fucker's coming, and you don't know what kind of drugs that sumbitch is on, but he's got a big giant sword in his fucking hand that he's not going to mind slitting you from from ear to ear. Especially a guy that's been already convicted and in of 4 stabbings a year ago. So it's like the rhetoric is just unbelievable. Every time something, I mean, come on. I just don't get it anymore. I mean, the athletes piss me off just because, I seen it over the weekend. It's like, I just don't want it in the sports. It's like, I don't care if you do it before and after a race or before and after a tennis match, but you come out wearing a Breonna Taylor mask or a Breonna Taylor shirt, and it's like that of all people in the NFL wearing Jacob Blake's fucking name on their helmets and stuff. It's like, you can protest but like NBA, that's why I quit watching them fuckers. I mean, they had fucking murals on their sport, Black Lives Matter. Why couldn't it be equality? Why can't it be something else? Because Black Lives Matter is an incorporated fucking thing. You can donate to Black Lives Matter. They're a business. They're a fucking terrorist business. It might have started out differently. It might have had different intentions. And some people are still holding on to the root reason that it started in the first place. But now you got Marxists running it. They want it to be a communist fucking utopia here or whatever they want. And the Black Lives, the people that it should be helping, it's not. It's not doing anything for them. It's just it's living them up to the stereotypes because of a few bad apples, And then these young white people in there I don't know if they're afraid that if they don't stand up, that something bad will happen to them or something. But even in my small town, the Black Lives Matter. We have posts that people keep up with the small town here, and some people that don't live here anymore, they like to see people take pictures of the courthouse, or they talk about the farmers market, they talk about Toowoomba Park and what all this stuff, the nice little town I grew up in. But then you always got somebody on there every other day or so. Black Lives Matter. Let's have a protest. We need a big protest for Black Lives Matter downtown. We need to stand up for, it's like, what are you fucking doing? I mean, you're just going off on it. We had a protest downtown, very peaceful one, when it first started, and before all the fucking terrorists really kicked in. And I didn't have no problem with them having a protest down there. I don't think anybody did. Hell, there was no problems. It was a definition of peaceful protest. Or it wasn't even, to me, it wasn't even really a protest. It was like an awareness saying, hey, we live in this city, and we're feeling this way. And they didn't have any conflict. There wasn't any fighting, looting, burning shit down. But the more you keep pushing it on, people are getting tired. I mean, I'm not saying I'm tired of hearing about it, because you have a right to express yourself peacefully. I don't have any problem. What I'm tired of is telling cops they hope they fucking die, and getting in their face and burning shit down, and constantly challenging the police. You hope they die. You want to fucking kill them. You think you can get by now because the cops are really afraid to do anything, and if you happen to die in there, you're a fucking martyr, or you happen to get shot like Jacob fucking Blake, they make you out to be this saint of a person. He had a warrant for sexual assault. And the vice president elect, or not elect, fuck no, not elect, hopeful, heels up Harris. She wants to go tell him she's proud of him for being a fucking thug and getting shot. See, that's what's fucking wrong, man. They're gonna have vigils for this Lopez dude, or Munoz, whatever it was, in Pennsylvania. This wild-eyed fucking meth head. Big time. Wielding the fucking sword they call it Guton. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's a big-ass sword, it looked like to me, on the video. There's video again. Running towards a policeman, with no fucking reservation. He's running at him. This cop turns around and is trying to get away from him, and he has to shoot him. Why did he have to shoot him? Because he didn't want to get fucking his head chopped off by a goddamn sword. If I'm a cop, I'm unloading the fucking clip and probably getting back and reloading and making sure that motherfucker can't move. Sorry. It's just, why shouldn't they? If they're going to get raked through the coals and everything else for shooting the guy, fucking make sure he's dead then. Because you're going to get to that point where the cops are going to be... You say they headhunt now, but their head's going to be on a swivel when they start getting people sitting in their cars getting ambushed by a fucking kid. At least it looked like a kid. Well, it's a goddamn thug's what it is. Why shouldn't they be on alert? Their head's going to be on a fucking swivel, and they're going to get a little trigger happy. By God, I think I would. And it's not just white cops. You know that. Any cop. There's black cops that have killed black people, believe it or not. Yeah, it's not always a white policeman. Because a black policeman wants to go home at night just like a white policeman. And if you're out there doing dumb shit, and you want to be a fucking thug, and you want to be a rapist and murderer and you're robbing people, you're bashing them in the head with a brick, which they should have found that guy and fucking returned the favor in Baltimore. I mean, they're just running amok now. You're running amok. And I'm not going to negotiate with anybody. I'm not even going to argue with people about it anymore. I've always tried to say my piece, and what I say, and there's times where I went a little overboard and I said, well, fuck it. If you're going to call me a racist, I'm not going to talk about it. And they weren't calling me a racist. I look at it later and it's like they were hinting that I talk like one, but they didn't believe in their heart of hearts that I was, and I'm not. People can believe it or not believe it. I'm not. I never have any animosity towards anybody, and it's like, but I'm tired. I'm not going to negotiate with terrorists. It's just not going to happen. And BLM's a fucking terrorist, and Antifa's terrorist. So if I'm ever out and I feel threatened by anybody with BLM or Antifa and all this bullshit, I'm going to make sure I get out, try my best to get out of the situation, but whatever happens, I guess will happen. I'm not running from anybody. I'm not going to be hiding and just letting them go crazy and say, oh, I'll just wait till it dies down, because if we all do that, which has been happening a lot, we're just kind of sitting, the silent majority is just sitting here waiting and hoping Trump wins, and that ain't going to help. It's not going to hurt me. It's going to be good for me, but do you think that's going to stop riots? Do you think it's going to stop BLM? They're going to keep at it. It's going to be another 4 years of this horse shit we've done. So it's like, it's just ridiculous at this point, man. Can't we just fucking find a middle ground or something? Protest all you want and get to the vote about certain things. But burning and looting and all this horse shit is not doing any fucking good. It's crazy. Every time a white person gets shot, if we had by a black police officer even, I'm sure there's a higher percentage of that. We wouldn't get any peace. If every time a black person killed a white person, we would not get any peace in this country. We're not now, but it would be fucking worse if we decided to riot every time somebody went bad with a white person or was killed by a black person. Look it up. Just in the month of August, there was a shit ton of white people that got killed by blacks all across the country. And you didn't see a riot won for them. Is that because the white people are pussies? No, I think it's just because they know that's not the answer. That's not the answer, but it's getting closer. It's getting closer to where they're going to say, fuck this. And if all they want to do is riot and burn shit down and everything, every time somebody gets shot because they're out doing dumb shit, then that means every time a white person doing dumb shit gets shot, we're going to say police brutality. Or if it's a black person kills a white person, we're going to scream, white lives matter. How far is it going to go down the rabbit hole? It's gone pretty fucking far, but I have a feeling it's not even getting close to what it's going to be. And that's really what saddens me, but I won't be surprised, and I won't have any sympathy. Zero. Like I said, zero. I'll have zero apologies to give. Zero guilt about standing up for my side of the story. And really, honestly, 100%. Zero fucks. Zero fucks about these fucking criminals. I give zero fucks about them. These thugs, these motherfuckers. Tired of it. I can't even negotiate with it anymore. So, I'm going to try to sweep out of this subject because for me, I got a lot of other stuff I can talk about, but this shit just keeps coming and keeps coming. I'm hopeful I can get on some normal subjects, the more important subjects like saving children, and stay on that instead of having to be every other day have to sit on here and talk to myself in this room to calm myself the fuck down about this bullshit, so I can maybe go to sleep tonight having it out of my system. So anyway, I think if you do watch this, I thank you for that. This is vlog number 5. I'll be doing another podcast at the end of this week. And I haven't decided a subject yet, but I will promote it if I do, and if you care, which I don't, like I said, it's all good for me. But if you care and you listen, hey, be prepared for another podcast. This vlog, I'll post it sometime here the next day or so, and I kept it under an hour, so I'm getting better with the ranting, but so let's just try to get along out there. Let's try to keep a level head. Keep it on a swivel, though, because you need to keep it on a fucking swivel. And let's hope for the best. That's all we can do, right? I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.